yourselves, Kathy Adams, Chuck Gatica, Fred McLeod, and the Eyewitness News team.
Good evening. As Eyewitness News reported exclusively at 6 o'clock, another day of controversy in the gubernatorial campaign of Dick Chrysler. The latest surfaced when the National Right to Life organization sent news releases complaining that Chrysler was misinforming voters in his campaign literature, which claimed he's been endorsed by the National Right to Life. Actually, he's been endorsed by the National Pro-Life Committee. The Chrysler people say it was an honest mistake. They're sorry. Murray Feldman in Kalamazoo today tells us the negative publicity surrounding Chrysler doesn't seem to count much among those who count, the voters.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Not every 4-year-old has a gubernatorial candidate sing them happy birthday, but that's what happened in western Michigan today, called hitting the campaign trail toward the end of the line. At a senior citizen center outside Kalamazoo and in the downtown shopping mall, Dick Chrysler was greeted with enthusiasm and very high recognition from his television ad campaign.
I've seen you on TV.
Well, thanks for inviting me into your living room. I appreciate that.
But reporters following him were trying to pin him down on the latest published reports critical of his business practices in Brighton.
Are you planning to withdraw?
Yeah. We had this conversation before.
Well, it comes up again and again.
Thank you.
And in response to newspaper headlines suggesting the Attorney General, Frank Kelly, may seek to file charges in the continuing flap over his business, Chrysler told me.
How you doing? I think it's probably, quite honestly, I think it's more Frank Kelly trying to get his name on the front page more than anything else. Before an election, he's got one coming up, too.
Dick Chrysler now picks up the pace. As time grows closer to the election, he's hitting as many areas as he can by plane. Dick Chrysler will spend the rest of the weekend traveling to parts of the state with high levels of undecided voters. He figures with Bill Lucas catching up to him and negative press dogging him, the undecideds are now top priority. In Kalamazoo, Murray Feldman, Channel 2, Eyewitness News.
You may be getting a phone call or 2 or 3 this weekend asking you to vote for one of the state Republican candidates. With the primary just 4 days away, hundreds of campaign volunteers are making a last pitch on the phone. Eyewitness News reporter Mike Redford watched the final push today from several of the candidates' headquarters.
It's a familiar sight these days, candidates stumping for votes. A last-ditch effort before Tuesday's primary. Behind the candidates, of course, hundreds of grassroots volunteers.
Yes, this is Carolyn Murphy. I'm Dan Murphy's wife. Yes, how are you? Good. We're doing telephoning at the last-minute weekend here.
Yes, even the immediate family chips in on the phone bank, where calls in the final days of the campaign are critical.
In the last week of the campaign, the emphasis on personal contact, working over the telephone, whereas in the earlier stages of the campaign, the mail is the medium that we use for the most part. So the volunteers that you see here today are primarily working on the telephone, looking up the phone numbers that we still need, and shifting away from the mail because there's not that much time left.
In fact, the Murphy campaign says the last-minute push could mean 50,000 more Murphy supporters.
Hi, my name is Dave, and I'm a volunteer for Bill Lucas for governor, and we were wondering who you will be supporting in the Republican primary for governor.
Phone bank volunteers at the Lucas campaign are no different. It also includes the family touch with Father Lawrence Lucas, brother of Bill. Campaign staff also point out the importance of last-minute calls.
There's 5 million voters in Michigan, 640,000 approximately voted in the last election, and I think it's so important that voters hear from supporters that are willing to get on the phone and make a personal pitch to vote for Bill Lucas, and I think that does make a difference.
Well, certainly the Chrysler and Engler campaigns are boasting similar phone bank efforts these last few days, with the Chrysler campaign reaching the most potential voters by far, as many as 100,000 these last couple of days, with the help of a New York-based phone bank consulting firm. We'll see what difference it all makes on Tuesday at the polls. In Detroit, Mike Redford, Channel 2 Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News Election 86 coverage has been focusing in on the importance of name recognition for political candidates. After all, if your name is not known, who's going to vote for you? Tonight, our Kelly Kerrigan reports on a congressional race where the incumbent and a LaRouche candidate have the same name.
Hi, Bob Carr. What's in a name? Well, everything if you're a politician. Name recognition can win or lose an election. But in the 6th Congressional District, voters just may think they're seeing double on the Democratic ticket this primary. There'll be incumbent Bob Carr and LaRouche challenger Stephen Carr. Same name, same spelling. To avoid confusion, Bob Carr will have representative of Congress placed by his name on the ballot. And it's not a question of vanity. In Illinois, 2 LaRouche candidates made it on the ballot after challenging office holders with the same name.
It seems on the face that since he doesn't live in the district, indeed doesn't live anywhere near the district, that the fact that he would run in this district really was motivated by the same last name. At least I think that's a valid assumption to make.
I think Bob Carr is in danger not because my name happens to be the same. He's in danger because people in his district are out of work, they're losing their farms, there's absolutely no future, drugs are running rampant, our allies are being devastated overseas. People are getting tired, people are fed up. 60% of the population doesn't even vote. That's how mad people are.
Benefits to the competition? Bob Carr is able to spend more money plastering his version of the name before the public. This time in Clarkston at, you guessed it, a classic car festival.
Bob Carr doesn't mind the competition, but he's hoping before he has to worry about the Republicans putting a new driver in his congressional seat that the voters won't change cars on him on Tuesday. Kelly Kerrigan, Channel 2, Eyewitness News.
And if you think car versus car is going to create some confusion Election Day, then you ain't seen nothing yet. A lot of people are going to lose their votes on election night. In tonight's Perspective, our Joe Weaver says the problem is the supposedly modern punch card system in the city of Detroit.
There are going to be a lot of wasted votes in Detroit next Tuesday. Detroit's punch card voting system allows voters to cross party lines when voting in a primary. Of course, that's against the law, but traditionally some voters are either unaware or want to vote for all the candidates of their choice regardless of the party affiliation. When that happens, those ballots are destroyed and the vote, of course, becomes invalid. Voting machines automatically lock out the party you've not chosen so that crossing over is impossible. I'd like to see 2 things happen. Detroit should get rid of the punch card system and join the 20th century with automatic voting machines. Then I'd like to see the